All right, all right, all right. All right. So yeah. So like I said, it's just so beautiful. You can always catch the vibes from here. And once price new eye, then you are out and the immediate 4 hour structure. Based on the immediate 4 hour structure, in right, we have higher high, higher low, higher high, right? And so now the very first thing you want to look out for is what? Structure, guys. Structure. Very first thing you always want to look out for. Before your smart money concept, before the liquidity and all of those things, structure is first. All right. So now now what's the next thing that we do? We look out for our structural point. All right. And then if you look so closely, you realize that we had a form of liquidity sweep here, right? Okay, we had that liquidity sweep here. Now let's go down to a much lower time frame so that we can really see that candle that took out that liquidity. Okay, let's go down to the 1 hour. Okay, amazing. Can either have it here or let's see, okay. So all right. Now at this our higher low here, this higher low here. Now for me, my interest will be in the last down candle, this candle right here, this last bearish candle. Okay, because that's the last bearish candle before the explosive move in the opposite direction, right? So I'm very much interested in that candle. Okay, very much interested in that candle. So that becomes what? My point of interest. That becomes my point of interest. Okay, so let me remove this. So that candle now then becomes my potential area for reaccumulation. All right. So we would anticipate that, price would come all the way in that bearish structure, right? And then boom, break structure inside of this area. Okay, so once we have that, and then price is then coming back, break structure again, boom, then we have our what? Our reaccumulation. All right. But then some people can decide to set their limit, either the open or 50%, all that good stuff. The stops is always where? Outside the range. And this is, well over a 1 to 3. If you are playing 50% of that institutional candle, 50% is going to give us entry would be here. Oh, wow. I think there was a topic I was supposed to teach yesterday that I didn't teach. So 50% will give us a 1 to 4, which is, a good trade. But if you wait for a break of structure inside of that area, it would make more sense. Okay, so I'm going to send this out now. I was supposed to teach on quarter points yesterday, but Okay, so let's look at another asset. Okay, so let's look at USDZAR. I like USDZAR a lot. I like USDZAR a lot. Okay, so I'm going to show us how I'm going to delete all of this and show us how I'm just going to give us a rundown on how we eventually arrived here. So let me remove all of this. And where did I tell you guys I start my analysis from? From the daily time frame. Yeah, someone can just copy it and drop it on the Telegram group, right? Can just copy the link and drop it on the main group for other guys to make good use of. All right, so let's start from the weekly on this one. So on the weekly, price broke structure here and gave us higher low, right? And then higher high, okay? And then at our last higher low here, we can see that very clean liquidity sweep right here. So then let's go down to the daily and really see how it looked like. All right, so beautiful. Here it is on daily. We swept all of these lows. This last bearish candle became our point of interest, right? That's the candle we are interested in, the candle in drawdown, okay? And then once price came into this area, so once price came into this area, right, because it's the daily time frame, and stop loss will be very, very large. I was waiting for the break of structure, which I actually got, and then see what we had here. We had lower high, lower low, and then price closed above. Okay, so let's go down to the 4 hours to see it very, very clearly. All right, so here we have it. At the lower high, lower low, and then boom, price closed above. Okay. Now, before price, closed above, what happened? It's very clean liquidity sweep here. Very beautiful. It's just very beautiful. Okay. And also right here, if I go down to the 2 hours, also right here, it made a lot of sense. This sweep here too. And then you can see this candle. This candle just came, stopped everybody out, and then closed with a wick, like a long rejection. All right. So it made a lot of sense, to capture this candle, this particular candle that took out that liquidity that is in drawdown. All right. Sorry. Okay, that candle is in drawdown. And what did you see smart money do? Smart money came back, to mitigate it. If you go to a much lower time frame, you see the candle very well. All right. So if you had missed this entry, well, would you beat yourself up? Oh, our price has left without me. No, guys, right? Structure is very, very important. Now, when they came here, what did structure do also again? Lower high, lower low, boom, break of structure. This low also was what? Was swept again. Now, guys, can you see this now? Can you see how clear it is in the market? All right. So price broke structure over here. Boom. So where is my smart money play? Now I've understood my structure, my range, right? So I'm having it all the way from here up to here. Okay. And then something very, very beautiful happened, here within this area. Let's go down to the 1 hour so I can show you. Now, anybody that can tell me anybody tell me what happened here? What's going on here? Can just drop it in the chat box. Anybody? So I know. Amazing. I love that. Liquidity build up, internal liquidity. I mean, you guys are on point. Static liquidity, you guys are on point, all right? Drop some fire emojis for yourselves. So this is liquidity sitting right here. Just sitting beautifully there. All right. You guys are amazing. Equal lows, I love that. Internal liquidity, I love that. Amazing. All right. So, all right. Now, let's go back to where we were coming from. So, where is that candle that took out liquidity? This last bearish candle. All right. This now becomes what? Our point of interest. All right. So this becomes our potential area for reaccumulation. All right. So can you see how understanding structure, accumulations, distribution, how it will help you, maximize, and it won't even give you FOMO. You will not have the fear of missing out because you know where price is coming back to based on structure, right? Based on the smart money concepts. All right. This bearish candle is in drawdown, and smart money would want to come and mitigate out of that position. They would want to come and at least, close that trade at a break even or in little profits. All right, see how we started from the weekly time frame down to the daily, down to the 4 hours. Now we're on the 2 hours, right? And well, for those, I really would just advise, waiting for that break of structure, but then, playing the open of this bearish candle, stops below the low. All right, price hits your take profit, that's well over a 1 to 7. Sheesh. I mean, if you are playing the 50% of that candle, right? If you're playing the 50% of that candle, it stops the same place. This is a 1 to 11. I mean, a 1 to 11, guys. Wow. Okay, I would try my best. Because this is actually a trade call. Okay, so this is 1 to 11 if you are catching this, right? So I'm not giving a limit entry. All right, I'm just going to leave this way and send it out. All right, so someone can just copy and send to the group. Okay, guys, give me one more or 2 more currency pairs. I don't want to go over the ones I have here. I'm not touching Bitcoin. Coach is not here. Coach Tony is the master, is the beast of Bitcoin.
Coach Tony is on the call.
Oh, Coach Tony. Okay, maybe Coach would want to to go over Bitcoin. So let me leave EU for Coach too. I'll leave EU for Coach Tony. That's Coach Tony's baby too. So
no, I'm not actually on my system now.
Okay.
But you can just do it. I would just be watching of from here, I'm trying to see what's up. Okay, so you can actually check Bitcoin and Euro USD also. Okay, just feel free. Okay, if there's anything I need to add, I'll add. Okay.
All right, sir.
Big shout out,
Yeah,
big shout out to my coach. Big shout out to Coach Mentor T, Coach Tony. Guys, drop some shout out in the chat box to Coach Tony. Drop some shout out, guys.
Let's go.
Drop some fire
Let's make
emoji.
some money this week.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. The prophet has spoken, guys. Drop some fire emoji. You know you're going to make money this week.
Okay, so for EU, basically, so something I saw on EU on the weekly time frame, right? Let me remove all of this. I'll run over it again. So based on, all of this going on here, we had, lower high, lower low, price broke structure, closed above. Okay. And then we had this beautiful institutional candle sitting in there. All right. Sitting in there. That candle is in drawdown, guys. Okay. So now we would anticipate that, price could give us that accumulation out of this area to then take price up, probably to come into this institutional candle and then reject, give us a new higher low before, pushing up basically. But then I like to, I like to look at the DXY first.
I downloaded the last.
So we can hear you. Can you mute? Sir, Pastor Dami, we can't hear you, sir. Can you mute your mic?
Okay. So yeah, we had that, and then I'm interested in this last bearish candle. Okay, so that would make a lot of sense. And then so we could anticipate that, price gives us that distribution inside of this area. Okay, so be on the lookout for this. Once we get that distribution inside of this candle, let's go to the daily time frame and see what we most likely would have. Okay, structure. All right, so let's go to the 4 hours. I think I've seen something on the 4 hours. Okay, so yeah, on the 4 hours, we have this higher high, higher low, higher high. So we would anticipate that, once price can give us a close below, right, distribute, then we should also see the opposite, right? Based on the DXY, relative strength index analysis. If the DXY is, bullish, EU, right? EU and then GU, right? We should be anticipating sales on them. Okay, that's just basic relative strength index analysis and asset correlation. Okay, so once we get this to the downside, then we can look at EU. We can look at EU for the buy. Okay, so yeah, same price action. We have this price has closed below this lower low. So we would just be waiting for, that accumulation, right? Let's see something on the 15 minutes. Okay. So on the 15 minutes, right, we could have, this is our current range, lower high, lower low. Once price can, give us a close above on that 15 minutes, right, then we can be expecting or anticipating, the H4 break, okay? Because a break of structure on lower time frame can, more often than not, can influence a break of structure on the higher time frame, okay? So yeah, that is what I'll be looking for or looking out for on EU, right? Because price is really now at, a very, very amazing spot. Okay, so I'm not going to do anything on EU or GU for now until I see, that distribution on the DXY. Okay, so I think we are good with that. We're good with that. So let's check Bitcoin. Okay, so for a very long time, I had this markup on, on Bitcoin. Price came here on the weekly, very clear range, higher high, higher low. Price came here, accumulated. Let's go to the daily. All right. So the same thing here. Price broke structure, came back, and then now this is our current range. Okay. I'll be picking this as my current range. So let's go down to the 4 hours. Okay, so price didn't come all the way into this area, and the truth is many times price may not necessarily come so deep into your POI. Price can just come close to your POI and accumulate like we have here. Okay, we had this lower high, lower low, boom, price closed above, amazing stuff. All right, and then this lows here just waiting to be swept. This lows just waiting to get claps. Let's go down to a much lower time frame, 45 minutes. So I would anticipate that price can just decide to come here, sweep all of this liquidity and end up closing, all right, and end up closing within structure. You'll just see one long week, boom, and then it just takes everybody out and it goes all the way up. All right, so we could have something like that happen on Bitcoin. So let's see. Okay, so for me, maybe if Coach Tony would likely have his input, I'll be very, very, let me go down to the 15 minutes to get a clearer view. Okay. Coach sent his markup on. Okay. All right, Coach just sent his markup on Bitcoin. So let me show us that. All right, so yeah, this is what Coach is looking at. This candle right here. Okay, based on our range, all of this liquidity being swept, and we have our entry just below that liquidity and stops below the low, right? So I think that is clear to everybody. Yeah. All right, drop some 111 if it's clear to you. Thank you, Coach. All right. Okay, so let's look at I think I want to like, stop there and let's go over to synthetic indices. All right. Coach has another source for us. All right. Okay. So let me show you what Coach Tony is also looking at for the buy. Yeah. Okay, so let me show us this. Okay, coach. So let me show us. Now, this was the area coach was looking at initially for a buy, all of this internal liquidity just sitting, waiting to be captured, and if this does not hold, then if that does not hold, then we'll just wait for that point of interest below. And then this is another possible area where we can sell down from. From this, based on the counter trend structure, like I was explaining yesterday, when price is coming back to give us that mitigation, we would see it come in that bearishness or that bullishness, depending on the structure. So if price comes all the way into this area, playing the 50% and stops above the high, we can take the sell down into, to clear all of this internal liquidity into this our buy area. And then we just, wait and look out for that evidence, and then, we are good. All right. So yeah, big shout out to Bitcoin Beast. Let's go. Let's go. So synthetic, I was looking at a few pairs on synthetic indices. Let's start from boom 300. Okay. Just a minute, guys. Gold traders, coach has something for you guys. Okay, so let me share what Coach T sent. All right, so now based on this, right, structure, guys, structure, we have our lower high, lower low, price closed above, this down candle that took out all of this liquidity, playing the 50% of it, looking at a potential buy all the way up into this institutional candle or this imbalance here. And then we can take our sell down. All right. So for gold traders, you can look out for this during the week. I mean, this would make a lot of sense. Catch this and then boom, you are good for the week. So guys, there's no point trying to, chase all of the pairs. You can just pick a few and just stick with it, right? And just pick one and just stick with it if you are disciplined enough. Okay, so I was looking at this yesterday. Let me walk us through it. And then a potential sell down. Okay. All right. Okay. So, I mean, guys, you guys are in for a treat this week. Coach Tony is just dropping it back to back. Okay, so based on that, we can still sell down. Remember this trade idea. So we can still sell down all the way into this region. you know, take the sells, take the buys, then take the sells again. I mean, what would that do to your account this week? All right, so based on this structure, higher high, higher low, higher high, break of structure, and then also price kept on giving us that bearishness. We have this lower high and then lower low, playing this institutional candle, this last up candle before they move down. It would make a whole lot of sense. Okay, a whole lot of sense. So guys, drop some fire emojis for Coach Tony, guys. Drop it, drop it. Drop it like it's hot.
That's my coach.
Drop it like it's hot. Okay, so all right, let's keep it coming. Let's keep it coming. Some fire emojis for Coach Tony. Okay, so all right, so based on boom 300, right? What's the first thing? Structure, guys. Structure. I'm looking out for structure. It never gets old, right? Rinse and repeat. Rinse, same thing over and over again. Same concept every time. It's nothing different, guys. Okay, so I'm looking out for structure. And then what is structure telling me on the daily time frame? I have my higher high, higher low, higher high, price broke. Someone is calling 911 for Coach Tony. All right, break of structure, price closed below. Okay. So let's mark this up. So price closed below the low here, giving us that break of structure. And then this eye was beautifully swept, you know. I like it when price sweeps highs and lows this way. All right. And then give us that break of structure. Now, this last up candle, last bullish candle would be very, very interesting, you know. Same concept every time. Now, because this is the daily, I mean, you're not Coach Tony, so you have a small account, you want to maximize it. So let's go down to the 4 hours, see what's up. You're not doctor of entries, voltage entries. So you're just young guys trying to catch some few pips, getting out the market. Okay, there's an SM cube there. Let me go back to the daily. An SM cube. Someone said Coach T should greet the house. Don't worry, Coach T will still greet everybody. Okay, for me, now this is I don't like to be rigid, but then for me, I feel this candle is still in drawdown, right? And then smart money sooner or later will still come back. All right. So yes, this smart money cube could make a lot of sense, you know. It could make a lot of sense, and you know, seeing also that we have, you know, this break of structure right here and all that good stuff, right? But then now this could just potentially happen, right? If you get it close above here, price comes back, comes all the way down here, okay, and then we can now then ride all the way up into this area. All right, that could potentially happen. Okay, it's not a doubt that could potentially happen. All right, but for me, well, we can capitalize on this, but the only way I would be capitalizing on this to be very, very sure that, you know, price is ready to dump to the downside. Let's wait for this to load up. Yeah, the price is ready to dump to the downside is when I see the same signature. Higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, break. I want to see price redistribute inside of this area. If it doesn't, then I'm looking away, right? Because more often than not, what I've seen price do over time in the market is this. It happened on VIX 50 last week, right? Price would give you a move like higher high, higher low, higher high, break of structure, and then give you another high. Okay, so it's not something you should beat yourself up about. It just tell you that smart money is not ready to sell yet. All right. So one of the ways that I try to like get further confirmations is I always want to see that further evidence at my points of interest. You know, I want to see price redistribute here. Then I can take this sell down, you know, clear some of this dynamic liquidity, fill up this imbalance, and, you know, reaccumulate out of that area. And then boom, we are up. Okay, so yeah, that can potentially happen. It's not a doubt. But then if I would consider that area, I would want to see that evidence. Okay, and then based on, so let me just take this very quickly. Based off on plain internal and external liquidity, right? More often than not, if we measure 50% of this entire move, right? Now, anywhere above the 50% is where I like to look at for internal liquidity, anywhere above the 50%. Okay. Now, in the bullish structure, anywhere below the 50%. It all makes the same sense, right? We're taught on discount and premium zones, right? So it all makes sense. I want price to come into that, you know, that premium zone for a sell. And then I also want to look out for price in that discount zone for a buy. It gives me, you know, further confidence. All right. So yeah, I think I've been able to do justice to that. So that could potentially happen, but then I'll be flexible enough, right? I'll be flexible enough. We don't move the market, so we just have to like follow what price is giving us. Okay, so I'll be so interested in this area, and you know, this imbalance, this tiny imbalance here, smart money cube, that institutional candle, it makes a lot of sense though, you know. So let me have this here and send this out for us. Just a minute. Sorry. So, okay. So let's look at a few more. Let's look at a few more. Okay, yeah, I think I was looking at VIX 10 also. So let's look at VIX 10. We look at VIX 75 1S. Okay, so let me walk us through this again for the week. All right, so something like what I was explaining the other time where I said, you know, price can give you that break of structure and still close above. All right, we have a very clear example here, right? Price closed below here, closed below this lows, swept everybody, still went ahead, you know, to close above. All right. Those are inevitable losses if you were playing it. So it's not because you are dumb or anything. All right. So now we have a new range. I'm starting from the 4 hours because it's clear on the daily. So, right, higher low. Okay, so it would make sense. All of this liquidity was swept, you know, and this last down candle. Let me zoom in. This last down candle, or let me just pick this whole move. Because on the daily, it was just one candle, right? But then on lower time frame, it will be consecutive candles, right? Time frame relations, okay? So if you had marked this candle out here, right, as our point of interest, and then we said, oh, okay, let me wait for that reaccumulation, right? It first gave us this lower high, lower low, price closed above, okay, later came back to close below, then close above again. All right. Now the beauty of the accumulation, but you may not have that time and patience if you're a very busy person. Okay. So eventually price broke structure here. Price broke structure here, you know, swept this low before breaking structure, came back to fill this last down candle, right? Price came back to fill that candle here. So let's go down to the 1 hour and see how that played out. Okay, beautiful. All right. Now all of this liquidity was swept. I mean, you want to love smart money. It's the same concept over and over and over again, guys. Over and over again, guys. So I mark out this entire region as my point of interest. Okay. This entire area. As my potential area for reaccumulation. Okay, so now same thing, guys. Same thing, guys. Okay. You could have capitalized on the sales structure, guys. Structure is important. Lower high, lower low, price just kept going on and on and on and on. And then it keeps going that way. Now, this is something that can happen. Price can decide to continue giving us that bearishness, right? And break this low and close below the low again, give us a new lower low. Price doesn't necessarily have to, you know, accumulate out of this area. It doesn't necessarily have to. All right. So it's all good. I'm going to be sending this out also. All right. So let's look at VIX 75 1S. This asset sometimes can be very, very annoying. Okay, so let's begin again. Let me walk us through all of this. So on the larger scale, what do we see price doing, right? What do we see price doing? We had this as, you know, on the macro perspective, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, right? Okay, so this low was swept. Okay, we had a break of structure, you know, blah, 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 all that good stuff. Now, price actually wanted to come create a lower high, all right? But then what did he first do? price gave us that break of structure, came to give us the lower high, and then boom, distributed down. Okay, that's why you always want to love structure. You can't do anything against it. You always want to love it. All right. And so this is our daily range, basically, from this high all the way down. Okay. And then I have this as my internal liquidity. Okay. You still have all of this imbalance up here. We have this institutional candle up here. So it just makes a whole lot of sense. All right. It makes a whole lot of sense. Capturing this imbalance. And then we have this. Okay. All right, so let's go down to 4 hours and see if there's a way we can capitalize on the buy. Okay, so on the 4 hours, we have lower high, lower low, Well, I would want to see this way as this dynamic liquidity build up, right? We have all of this imbalance below. We have this candle here. So just if peradventure price would come back, all the way, we may see a rejection from this area. Price can just continue to, dump, and we have that. Okay. So we could catch both the buys and the sells. All right. So if price comes back, price doesn't necessarily have to come back, guys. Doesn't necessarily have to come back. Okay. So I'm going to mark this, send this out also. Okay. All right. Let's go. Okay, so yeah, we could have that, both the buys and the sells for, the VIX on 51s. And then I think lastly, the VIX on the 5 hours. Just I love to trade VIX on the 5. Let's start from the daily. Okay, so all right. So now based off on structure, right? We can just see it clearly, right? Higher higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, right? Trust me, guys. Well, some of you would have seen this as, pew pew, trend line and all of that, blah, blah, blah. We are not disputing that, but then structure is what creates the trend line, all right? Basic is as simple as that. It's as simple as that. Okay, so now we've spotted our structure. Where is the smart money play at our structural point? That's the second thing on our checklist, or the third rather. The first thing on our checklist is structure. You may want to write this down, structure. The next thing is your trading range. The next thing is your liquidity at your areas of entries, and then liquidity at your areas of targets. Then you have your Fibonacci levels, your premium and discount zones, right? If you can always recite your structure, your checklist this way, trust me, guys, you would have a very smooth journey. Okay, so we have our trading range, our structure is bullish, our trading range, we have our top range and our down range. Okay, the checklist, all right? I'm going to go over it again. The checklist, first on the checklist is structure. Second on the checklist is your trading range. Third on the checklist is liquidity at areas of entry. That is your structural points. Liquidities at areas of entries. Then the next there is liquidities as areas of target, right? So what do I mean by that? In a bullish structure, where you have your external liquidity at your higher highs. So liquidity is sitting up here, okay? So liquidity as areas of targets, and then you have your Fibonacci levels, the discount zone, and then your premium zones, okay? So here we have structure, we have range, we had a liquidity sweep here, we had a beautiful accumulation, right? We had a beautiful accumulation over here. Thank you guys. Thank you for dropping that. We had lower high, lower low, price closed above, broke structure, right? And then it just came back into the open of this entire push down and then rallied up, okay? So we would anticipate that, price will come here sooner or later and then give us what? That reaccumulation out of this area, okay? So let's go down to the 4 hours. VIX 75 is very, very volatile. So we don't want to mess with that guy. Okay. Don't want to mess with him. All right. Yeah. So based on structure too, this immediate structure, we still have, higher high, higher low, higher high. But then I really don't like to buy at extreme highs, like I was explaining, the price cycle. All right. Price cycle, we like to capitalize on the buys from here. Here is low risk, is low probability, highly risky, is low probability trade, but it could make a lot of sense. All right. So I'm going to give us two things that could possibly happen over here. Okay. So we have all of this liquidity build up here. If you go to the 15 minutes, it's very clear. Let me show us on the 15 minutes. All right, so this is just static liquidity building up all the way, all the way. So we would anticipate that price comes, clears all this liquidity, and then based on the immediate 4-hour structure, okay, based on the immediate 4-hour structure, all right, price has already closed above here. So this area could also be good for the buy, this last down candle. All right, so we would just anticipate that price would sweep all of that static liquidity, come into this candle, and then rally up. Or price would, now price broke structure, but then it filled, some of this imbalance that we had here and then rejected. So we could potentially have price continue downward, close below this low, right? Distribute, and then we can come here, sell down, or price just, keeps dumping into this area and then reaccumulates. Okay, so those are the possibilities, those are the possible plays that, I expect to see. Price can come here, boom, tap all this, get all these lows clapped, pump up, and then continue. Or now that price has filled this imbalance, price can just continue dumping, then accumulate below this low and come for a retest or a mitigation, coming down, and then we can take it all up. Oh, wow. Just a minute, guys. Okay, sorry guys, I had to turn over to the gym. You know, this is Nigeria. Okay, so can we all hear me now?
Yes, sir.
All right. So okay, crash 1000. Okay, so that's what I'll be looking out for on VIX 75. So I may really not drop a markup on this guy because of all of this. I may not drop a markup, but then that's what I would be anticipating. But then I still am strongly on the side that price should break structure, right? But then I don't move price, so we'll just follow what price would like to do. So lastly for tonight, I think this is the last one I'm going to take for tonight. Crash 1000. Okay. So for me on crash 1000, structure, I'll take this, consider this as my lower high, lower low, price broke structure. All right. And then price did what? Price distributed. Okay. So based on the current counter trend, bearish structure, lower high, lower low. All right. And then over here, what happened over here is lower high, lower low, lower high, break of structure. Okay. And then price is on the way back. That's what happened here. If you go down to the 1 hour, let's see if I was right. All right. So amazingly beautiful. That is high, lower low, price closed above, and then price now seems to be coming back here into this area. Okay, I wouldn't be so happy at this break of structure here. Why? This is why. Equal lows just right below. Okay, equal lows just right below. Now something funny can happen. Price may necessarily not clap out all these lows yet. Price can just do something like this, go back. Why? Because they distributed also again, come and mitigate all of these smart money kills this entire area and then fall down. All right, they don't necessarily have to like clap out the liquidity immediately. Okay, so yeah, that's that. But then if you are able to, if price should decide to come back, I would like to play this guy. I'd like to play this guy. Okay, and then where would be our target? Because obviously although price is bullish, but on the counter trend, price is bearish. Okay, so I would be targeting this area here or this imbalance above. All right, and then when price gets there, we can capitalize on the sell and sell down from here. Okay, so let me send both the buys and the sells. Okay. Right, so we can also look to get the buy. Okay. All right, so I'm going to send this out, right? Oh, 30 minutes is clear, yeah? Okay, so let's check the 30 minutes. All right, beautiful. Yeah, actually. So same thing, guys. Same thing happened here, right? Lower high, lower low, price closed above. So if price were to come down into this last bearish candle, for a reaccumulation, it would make a lot of sense, right? It would make a lot of sense. So, yeah. I think I'll send the 30 minutes also because it's clear on the 30 minutes. Right. Okay, so yeah, price closed above here and all that good stuff. Let me send this also. Oh, it's been a long time coming. Okay, guys, so I think we've done a lot of work. I think we've done a lot here tonight. So I'll just crave our indulgence that I end here for tonight, and then we can bring this all to a close. Okay. So I think I would like Coach T to greet the house like someone requested now. So yeah, I think I'm done.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you so much for tonight's session. I think so I think Pastor I say Pastor. I was almost going to say Pastor Tony. I think Coach T. I think Coach T is not. Yeah, I don't think Coach T is on the call right now.
Okay.
Yes, yes. Thank you so much, so much, guys. I wanted to drop some fire emoji in the chat box, to just appreciate our educator for tonight. I wanted to drop some 111 fire emoji, just words of appreciation. Also Coach Tony joined, and he has one or two stuff to attend to, and but he joined and still gave us some trade ideas. I can't lie to you. See, I am under Coach Tony's mentorship, and I can tell you back to back to back to back. You know that song that it says back to back to back back to back. See, if Coach Tony gives you a trade idea on BTC, set your limit and go to bed.
Set your limit and go to bed.
See, everybody knows. Everybody.
STF,
everybody in STF knows. STF to the world, guys. Sniper Traders family to the world. That is our mentor. If he calls a trade idea on BTC for you, say set it. In short, use banknote size and go to bed.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, who's that?
Can you hear me, sir?
Yeah,
you forgot one topic you treated. You said you want to treat the last our class, which is quarter point. I don't know how. Hello, sir.
Yeah, I can hear you,
Yes.
bro. I can hear you. Yeah, I think
yeah.
we'll communicate with the educator by maybe tomorrow. Today's supposed to be the last session, but we have a makeup session for tomorrow. So I think that should be tomorrow.
Okay, sir. Okay. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, bro, for bringing it to our mind. Yeah, so guys, like I was saying, You know, in STF, if Coach Tony should call a trade idea for you, see, just set your limit and go to bed. In short, for BTC, use bank lot size. Please, but if you blow your account using bank lot size, or yours is your case, so you are going. I mean, we really want to appreciate Coach Tony for the love and for his selfless act, you know. Yeah, somebody's laughing. I mean, see, I'm not even joking. I mean, we have most of our members from STF on this call, and everybody can testify. Big shout out to one of our boss from ST. Yeah,
even the
doctor
of Staffarian, Dr. Staffarian, doctor of voltage entries.
Yeah.
They give you guys trade ideas, guys. Just gotta set it and sleep.
Yeah, I'm telling you. See, when these guys give you trade ideas, just go to bed and just set your limit, wake up. And you know, when you say your money is working for you, that is what it means. You just sleep, you wake up, you are seeing your account in blues. You get, so it's now up to you to close the trade or say, however way you want to manage it, you understand? So big shout out to every member that came on this call, you know, big shout out to everybody who joined from the beginning of this call, you know, of this boot camp till this very last day. And a big shout out to every member of STF for showing Havilah love, for celebrating his birthday with him, and raising his hands for him to be able to give back to humanity. Pastor Dami, you can stop recording. And also big shout out to most of our bosses from STF